Hey guys, it's Nickfamous here. Just like that, Mortal Kombat 1 is a wrap. NetherRealm recently confirmed on their Twitter page that the game won't be receiving any more DLC, so they can focus on their next project. We pretty much already knew this with the release of MK1's Definitive Edition, but now it's 100% confirmed. I'm a bit sad, but also relieved. Yes, the game was littered with problems, but overall, it was a very fun game to play, and of course, I'm a huge Mortal Kombat fan, so it's always a shame seeing a game come to the end of its life. There was so much potential for it to be an even better game, so today's video will be going over the missed opportunities of Mortal Kombat 1. As much as I found it ridiculous that we didn't get Hotaru in a Havoc-centric story expansion, this video won't be covering story-related misses, because that's a topic for a whole other video. I'm not talking about Kombat Pack 3 or more DLC characters, because that's a low-hanging fruit. While it would have been nice to have longer support, this game needed to improve some fundamental issues, and no amount of characters would fix that. The only thing character-related that I really think was a missed opportunity would be the lack of guest cameos. The idea had been teased by Ed in the past, and I truly think it was our best shot at getting Chucky as a semi-playable character in a Mortal Kombat game, as we saw with Farah that smaller characters could work as cameos. It also would have been awesome to see NRS take full advantage of the licenses they borrow, and pair Omni-Man with an Invincible cameo, Peacemaker with a Vigilante cameo, etc. Not being able to select our costumes in the character select is a huge one that I see brought up time and time again in the community, and I couldn't agree more. All Mortal Kombat games made by NRS gave us the ability to do this, and MK1 not having it is more of a nuisance than anything. You either have to go and manually select the costume you want in the Customize tab, or set them to random, which I ended up doing as it at least keeps things fresh, but I would still much prefer the ability to choose which costume to wear at the select screen. Considering how hard this game pushed microtransaction skins in the premium shop, it's kinda mind-boggling that this was never implemented. This is also the first NRS-era MK game to not include a Krypt, which disappointed me beyond belief. NRS tried to pass Invasions and the Shrine off as our way to unlock content, but Invasions is a terribly repetitive and boring game mode, and the Shrine is just unoriginal. I mean, the MK11 had a Shrine in the Krypt, where you could unlock things not found anywhere else in the Krypt. They took away a huge part of these games and made unlocking content feel more like a chore than the fun method the Krypt provided in previous titles. Especially after the amazing Conquest-style Krypt we got in MK11, this was a huge step backwards. The gear system had a chance for improvement, as I think certain characters should have had multiple customization options. You see with characters like Omni-Man and Homelander that they tried to implement this by making the cape, gloves, and boots all one gear piece, but compare that to characters like Geras or Tanya and their lackluster gear that you barely even notice in a match, and you see what I'm getting at. I wish they didn't have a set number and did gear on a character-by-character basis, or at the very least, gave characters 2 gear options. Kitana's gear was her fans, so we couldn't get a maskless option for Kitana until NRS added a maskless costume. But it was only her default costume, meaning all of her other cool looks had to have the mask attached. Kitana should have definitely been a character that had 2 customizable gear pieces, mask and fans. Scorpion could have had his mask and kunai, Melina could have had her mask and size, etc. I think this would have added a lot more variety than what we got, and it's a shame they stuck with this mediocre gear system till the very end. Speaking of things that needed a major improvement, Invasions mode is enemy number 1. My good buddy Zach's Not Dead and I made a full in-depth video on how this could be done. It'll be linked in the description if you want to hear more about it in depth, but in short, Invasions mode was not fun, and by the 3rd season was just starting to feel like a chore. You grinded for hours to get one cool skin at the end, and a bunch of lame themed color palettes along the way. There was so many ways to improve this mode, like integrating iconic locations into the mesas, like the pit or Deadpool, adding a quality of life update, like a bonus minigame where players could play the original Mortal Kombat game on an arcade cabinet, adding multiverse nodes with wacky modifiers like giant heads or miniature characters, making Invasions more like a board game with features such as a dice roll, shortcuts, and even lore nodes to make the mode feel more immersive and explore the fresh timeline even further. So much potential to improve this mode, but unfortunately, it never got the attention it deserved, and as a result, I hope we never see Invasions mode again. Weirdly enough, both of these mechanics were found in the files of the game and just never made it to the final product for whatever reason. Tag combat and harakiris. Tag combat is functional in-game with the help of mods. If you mod a playable character over a cameo and then use the cameo in a match, instead of that character being an assist, it straight up swaps your playable character with the other one, just like in the good old days of Mortal Kombat 9. Harakiri animations were also found for most characters, in a quitality fashion. These both would have been excellent additions to the game, and it's anyone's guess why they were worked on but never properly implemented. I'm sure I could go on even longer about this game's missed opportunities, like the lack of online rooms, but you get the point. Mortal Kombat 1 had a ton of room for improvement and missed the mark in a few departments. I still enjoy the game despite its flaws, but I thought this would be a perfect topic for now, considering the game's post-launch content is dead in the water. Which missed opportunity that I mentioned would you have liked to see most? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching, guys. As always, this has been Nickfamous. See you later.